The whole goal of this series was to use the rib cage smash breathing drill to allow us to relax our pelvic floor. So how do we know if that happened? Well, one of the ways that we can really understand if that happened is being able to take a full inhale that feels like it doesn't reach a brick wall. A lot of times when we try and relax our pelvic floor, first of all, we aren't really doing it intuitively with a lot of excursion of the diaphragm. So we need that excursion of the diaphragm to be able to relax the pelvic floor. What we're going to do together now is we are going to go through some diaphragmatic breaths. That means that we're looking for the rib cage to expand on all sides. We just did our rib cage smash breathing drill, which is allowing for a bit more rib mobility, and we moved some pressure around so that we have given more mobility to the rib cage, allowing for a bit more excursion of the diaphragm. I'm going to cue you up for some things that you might feel, knowing that your pelvic floor has had the ability to relax a little bit more. I highly encourage you to lay down on your side, on your back. You don't need to watch me. You only need to listen to me. I'm not going to be doing anything that you need to see, and it can be really, really helpful to take away some of our sensory experiences. So we are going to be closing our eyes so that you don't need to process anything that you're seeing. You get to just focus on what you are feeling inside your body. So you can go ahead and lay down and we'll get started. When you lay down, you're going to close your eyes and you can have your knees bent. If you're laying down on your side, just kind of gently bend your knees. Whatever position just feels really good to you. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take an inhale. I don't want you to think again about your pelvic floor. What I want you to think about is on that inhale, feeling your ribs move. I want you to feel your ribs move, and I want you to think about your belly expanding just a little bit. We don't want the belly expanding a ton on an inhale, okay? So we're inhaling through the nose and really getting those ribs to expand. Belly expands just a little bit, and then you're gonna open your mouth and softly exhale. Now, the next time you inhale, I want you to think about the ribs moving, and I want you to think about that trampoline we talked about in the very beginning. As those ribs open up, as your core opens up slightly, the pelvic floor is just accepting that pressure. The pelvic floor is basically just saying, hey, cool, I can move now. You've given me something to work with. As you exhale, the pelvic floor should just float back up. We're not really looking for a tightening feeling of the pelvic floor on an exhale. It's more of a floating feeling back up that you may be able to sense. You can keep going for 3 to 5 more breath cycles. Again, what you're looking for on the inhale is a melting feeling or just a lengthening, almost a quicksand-like feeling of your pelvic floor, where it is essentially just kind of giving some space and length to the contents of your abdominal cavity and that pressure change. On the exhale, your pelvic floor is going to float back up. You don't need to think about tightening it. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is take really, really good breaths and fully exhale with your mouth. So take 1 to 2 more breaths at your own pace. Again, just focusing on that lengthening feeling, just accepting of pressure, knowing that the ribs are moving, the diaphragm is moving down. Then we're going to exhale. It should just feel like the pelvic floor kind of floats. You're not actively doing anything. All right, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and sit up and join me. I hope this was helpful with giving you another tool to use to think about how to relax your pelvic floor without really having to think about your pelvic floor. A lot of times when we have been so aggressively and a lot of times obsessively trying to relax our pelvic floor, we're foam rollers or balls or just trying to understand how do I lengthen that muscle, it can be super frustrating. So giving focus to a different area such as the rib cage can just be really refreshing for our minds. Also, from a pressure play standpoint, getting the ribs to move is going to be huge for your pelvic floor for so many more reasons than I had the time to go through in this video. But please know that you will never, ever, ever go wrong with making sure you have great rib mobility and great excursion of your diaphragm. Thank you so much for joining me for this Breathe mini series, and please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know if you have any questions at all. Always remember, you got this.